So we take the animal's temperature at the start of every day and then after every hour tour. So we know exactly what's going on with the animal's internal body temperature. As long as it stays within normal range. Left-hand turn is going to be on your right-hand side. This is St. Philip's Church. This is home to the oldest Anglican congregation south of Virginia. It's the one right there, guys. Now, funny thing about that church, a little chunk of the wall on East Bay Street. I'm not kidding. It's a literal chunk that's sitting on the sidewalk. And there's a sign that says the walled city of Charlestown, and the piece of brick you're looking at was a piece of the walled city. Also, if you do a tour, of the old Exchange building, they had a half-moon battery. The wall was built like a castle on the outside. You had rounded corners, which are called bastions, and then there are triangular redans, which are because of our construction, which you're just seeing. You have buildings made of brick and buildings made of black cypress, and then cramming them all together in this tight little area. Charleston has had some severe problems with fire throughout our history. There's been 5 Great Fires. Great Fire is categorized as any fire burning more than 100 residents. We've had 5 of those. We'll talk more about that. Right now I want to bring up this church on the left-hand side. This is the French Huguenot Church. This is the oldest independent French Protestant Huguenot church in North America. Step up. Built by Edward Brickell White. It was nicknamed, this used to be a watchtower for fires in the city. We had fire insurance, fire service eventually. Once that happened, volunteers would go into the tower and watch for fires in the city. When, of course, when a fire broke out in the city, they would ring the bell, alerting the firehouse. I'll try to swing a little wide so you see it. You'll notice that there's a fire insurance marker. It's about just above the first floor there. It's in the middle. So there's one marker, there's another marker, and then this one has one more. So how this would work, if this building caught on fire and this building's fire insurance company showed up first, this building's fire insurance company would not put out the fire until that fire insurance company came or the fire moved to the home that had been insured. Now, if you've seen like Gangs of New York where they kind of fight over the fire, like similar type of a situation. So yeah, it was a good idea to move to that the paid fire department, so we no longer had to compete over the slave quarters right here, built in a Gothic revival style. There is a wall all the way around the house, and then the house is on the right-hand side. This home is Georgian Palladian style, built in 1725 by the Bruton family. Now, the golden years for Charleston, South Carolina were the 1700s. None of these will be less than 10 million. This is the battery, yeah. This is the battery. Today, most desirable real estate in North America. Before, however, before the 1800s, all of this areas, if you can see this, just where those light posts is, there's kind of this like brick wall. I passed it back there. I should have showed you. The seawall used to come to right here, like right where all that brick is in right there. That is where the original seawall used to sit. All the land past it has been filled in. So these homes literally used to be right on the waterfront. Yeah. 40% of the peninsula today is man-made land or landfill. So all of this land has been filled in. They started filling the land in certain parts in about 1790, and then they worked in different areas through the 1800s. I love this home right here. You have the carriage entrance in the middle of these two, and then they share the wall right here. And then this next home, this used to be the home of Martha Williams. So I'm gonna stop us right past this oak tree. You can look in right now. Anyone see that stained glass? Yeah. All right, that is Lewis Comfort Tiffany stained glass. Martha Williams was the daughter of George Walton Williams. This home is Queen Anne Victorian style, was built for $50,000, which today would be about $1.5 million. This was about the 1870s. This home was built. George Walton Williams was a friend. Martha Williams' father was a friend of Lewis Comfort Tiffany when they built the house. It was a wedding present, so Lewis Comfort Tiffany donated some things. George Washington. Jump up, boy. George Washington visited Charleston, South Carolina, just after winning the Revolutionary War. Now, when he came, he was scheduled to attend a ball. He was scheduled to attend a ball at the old Exchange Building. Now, a lot of the Charlestonian women, they were worried. They were worried that the ball would not last long enough, that everyone would get a chance to dance with President Washington. So, to extinguish some of the Charlestonian women's fears, when Mr. Washington came into town, he took out a piece in the Charleston Gazette saying that, have no fear, President Washington would stay at the ball as long as there were women to show up to dance with him. The ball lasted for 3 days. He danced with over 200 women. So right now we're sitting at... This is the longest continuous cobblestone road in Charlestown, South Carolina. These cobblestones, these have been brought over from England. They're not local. Like I said, there's no indigenous stone in Charleston, South Carolina. These stones were brought over from England. They were brought over from England since 1709. Well, unfortunately for Mr. Trott, 4 years later, they built a building right next to it which stored gunpowder. So this is the gunpowder magazine, built in 1713. Colonists living in Charlestown, South Carolina, were only allowed to keep 1 keg of gunpowder in your home. All the rest had to be stored in this building. Yeah, only 1 keg. Only 1 keg. Anything more had to be kept here. Yeah. Slaves market. Because when this land was appropriated as a city market, step up. This was intended for the use of a produce market. This was a produce market where enslaved Africans did all of the work in the market. They also bought all the goods. It was the slaves, apostrophe S market. It was their market. It was a slaves market. You would only find enslaved Africans through this area. Oh. Where we're sitting right now used to be the site of Daniels Creek. Step up. Hey. Run. Knock it off, buddy. Behave. But this used to be the site of Daniels Creek. They started filling Daniels Creek in the 1790s. This land was donated by the Pinckney family for the use of the city market. The yellow building at the top was the butcher mart. You have perishable produce down through the middle. And I took an oceanography class. I had to get like 1 more science credit. And I did a report on flooding in Charleston. And when I did the report, this was like 5 years ago. Thanks, sir. This was like 5 years ago. At the time of the report, it was predicted that most of Charleston would be underwater in about 50 years. I know they've moved that date up a little bit, so if I do this for a few more years, I'll probably have to trade this carriage in for a gondola after a while. I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to that, though. Might have to learn more songs, though. I don't really like singing on the tours, but if I'm going to be rowing a gondola, you got to get some singing going on. It's got to happen. Yeah, Daniels Creek, lowest area of the market. That's where we're kind of...
Catch them. And what's intriguing to me about them is you don't see them with your eye. You never see them with your eye. But you see them on the screen of your camera even when you're taking the photograph. And you capture them with the flash. That's how I usually see them.
How do they get to that state though? Is there a theory behind that?
The most intriguing theory I've come across so far is a quantum theory of ghosts, which is that, you know how there's this mysterious principle that particles influence particles far away from them in ways that exceed the speed of light, which means there has to be something else connecting them. And as people die traumatic deaths, they release energy, and that energy may get stuck in the ether, so to speak, and hang. In other words, I think it's associated with traumatic death. I don't think people who die normal, not happy, but peaceful deaths, leave a world.
So it's almost like an out-of-body experience.
Yes. Like they jumped out too fast, and they're confused, and they don't know where to go.
That would make sense.
Yeah. It's the most plausible reason I've come across so far. Anyway, thank you so much. And you see how fascinating it is. It's a glimpse into the past. It teaches us about the inhumanity going on in there. It's, like I said, it's very fortuitous for you to be here right now, getting to walk through without the impediments of classroom instruction projects and administrative stuff. It's empty, so you kind of get a better feel for what it would have been like. And please come back. If you're interested in other tours, I've got some cards that will give you a 20% discount. Also, we love reviews. If you had a great time, my name's Randy. If it wasn't, my name's Justin. Anyway, so if you want to, take one of those, and please stay in touch.
Thanks, Randy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Is this good for two?
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here.